A character who can never die, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, actually, because the writers can have great fun coming up with new ways of killing Captain Jack. But the problem is the audience never really feel that he's under any jeopardy. They always know that, well, if he falls off a tall building or if he gets shot in the head or if anything happens, then he's going to come back to life. So where's the problem, you know? Where's the jeopardy? Where's the danger? And so we have to be careful to make sure that the other members of the team are put in jeopardy. He suffers the pain of losing people around him who he adores and respects and admires and loves. So in that way, he's emotionally vulnerable. He has to live on while others around him are dying.
It wasn't your dad that was in love with her all those years ago, was it? It was you.
We once made a vow that we'd be with each other till we died.
Clearly, then, Jack's in no need of the funeral march. But matching music to his life, and many deaths, is mightily important.
Well, there was a big theme, I mean, because he does die a lot, but a lot of them he just kind of throws off. But the big death at the end of last season was, we said, proper, is he going to die? And we thought he did. So there was a theme for that. But try not to dwell too much on that, because most of what Jack does is heroic. There's a Captain Jack action theme which originates from episode 6, Countryside, and it's the moment when he drives through a wall in a tractor. Because of the fact that he's driving through a wall in a tractor, so I thought it would be quite funny. It was late at night, so I thought, here he comes in a ruddy great tractor. So it goes, here he comes in a ruddy great tractor, here he comes in a... So that was how that came about, which is a little bit silly, but it kind of works. Torchwood tends to have a mixture of music. It's always got the pounding action Torchwood-style music with the guitars and the drums and the strings and that kind of thing. But then in every episode, there's always a... For me, there's always a kind of emotional pull, and there's always a character. Like, we had a specific theme for Grey.
Born on the Beauchesne Peninsula in the 51st century, the young Jack lost his brother.
Take Grey. Grey. My little brother.
A burden he would carry with him for the rest of his immortal life.
Grey?
I never stopped believing.
Grey!
I always knew we'd find each other again.
I'm sorry.
Sorry's not good enough.
It seems his brother was a bit boo about Beau too.
This is Cardiff, 27 AD.
And this is where it gets a little complicated.
The city will be built here over the next 2,000 years. Your grave will be the city's foundations. Your blessing of life becomes a curse.
I remember explaining the story to Eve and to Naoko, where Captain Jack gets buried in 27 AD in Cardiff, gets dug up in 1900, asks Torchwood 1900 to be put into the morgue so that he can wake up in 100 years' time.
I have crossed my own timeline. I can't be allowed to meet myself. But a lot of lives depend on this. You'll be protecting the future. That's what you're here for, isn't it?
Meanwhile, his other self is living through the 1900s, working for Torchwood. And so basically there are two Captain Jacks in the 20th century.
And now I need you to put me in the morgue. Freeze me. Set the alarm to defrost in 107 years' time.
You try explaining that to somebody when they're about to go off and shoot a scene. They've got 6 scenes in their head that they're trying to film, and they're trying to think of the character they're playing, and they're about to go on, and they're really only 3/4 listening to you because they're also in makeup and also in costume. And by the time I got to the whole, and then he's back in 27 AD, and then he puts himself in the morgue, and then there were blank faces all round.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But once you actually sit back and think about it, it's not obvious.
I forgive you.
If you worry too much about what you've done or where you're going, you end up playing that before you got there. And it's sometimes good for the audience not to know where you're going. So that's why you just play that scene. So I don't think about it that much. I really don't. And in saying that, that was a total lie. Because I do probably think about it, but I just don't let you know I'm thinking about it.
Jack? Did you see Jack on your way in? No?
I thought we tied it up in here. What's the matter?
He was just here.
Cardiff!
Cardiff?
Ah, that! The thing about Cardiff, it's built on a rift in time and space. Doctor!
Something's taken him. Jack's gone.
Finito! All powered up. The Doctor's not entirely comfortable with seeing Jack again.
Doctor?
Captain? Obviously, this is fairly explicit in the fact that he tries to escape from modern-day Cardiff when he knows that Jack is coming.
Good to see you.
And you?
I've been following you for a long time. You abandoned me.
Obviously, he's figured out what happened back on Satellite 5.
How long have you known?
Ever since I ran away from you.
He's reacting against this kind of breach in the laws of physics that Jack now represents.
When did you realise?
Earth, 1892. Got on a fight on Ellis Island. Man shot me through the heart. Then I woke up. Thought it was kind of strange. But then it never stopped. Fell off a cliff, trampled by horses, World War I, World War II, poison, starvation, a stray javelin. In the end, I got the message. I'm the man who can never die. And all that time you knew.
That's why I left you behind. It's not easy, even just looking at you, Jack, because you're wrong.
Thanks.
So what will 5 billion years of not being able to die do for the captain's complexion?
I remember Phil Collinson came up to me and said, "You're getting a script for episode 13, it's coming out tomorrow." I said, "Oh, great." And he said, "There's something at the end that made me laugh for 20 minutes. And I thought, what else is he talking about? And then, of course, you come across it.
What happens if I live for 1,000,000 years?
I really don't know.
Okay, vanity, sorry. Yeah. Can't help it. Used to be a poster boy when I was a kid, living in the Beauchene Peninsula. Tiny little place. I was the first one ever to be signed up for the Time Agency. They were so proud of me. The face of Beau, they called me. I'll see you.
Just when you think you've got your head around who the Harkness is, he blows your mind all over again.
Can't be.
No. Definitely not, no.
No. Of course, it all makes sense. And I immediately phoned up Russell. I said, when did you put all those pieces together?
It's that I thought of that face to both thing. I thought that about a year ago, I think. Just tying up all the strands.
So David kept asking me, kept saying, "Have you read it yet? Have you read it yet?" I'm like, "No, dude, I haven't read it yet." Why? And he's like, "There's the biggest surprise in it, and it's gonna, and I was like, he said, I want to tell you, I want to tell you. I'm like, no, don't tell me, I don't want to know, I want to be surprised. So one lunch break, when the script was finalized, I sat down, I read it, and I literally screamed in my trailer, ran to David's, banged on the door, and he opened the door, and he went, you read it? And I went, yes, and it's brilliant! I don't believe it. He's like, it's so cool, isn't it amazing?
Very funny that John Barrowman ends up as a big rubber head in a jar. It's going to happen to you, John. Be careful.
Well, whether or not he ends up in the jar, right now Jack's got a team that certainly needs him to be headstrong.
Let's go. Yes, ma'am. What have you seen, ma'am?
Captain Jack Harkness. And who are you?
Maybe later, Blue. Captain Jack Harkness, and who are you?
He's coming.
You're a bad boy. And you know what bad boys get.
How's that for a shapeshift?
The end is where we start from.